你怎么是有面？
Hi, Myra. How are you? I see Myra's on. Anyone else on? We'll keep waiting. I know it always takes a few minutes to get everyone logged in the first time. Take your time, everyone. We'll get everyone in. Hi, Carrie. How are you doing?
Yeah.
I heard a voice. It might have been Myra or Carrie or someone else maybe. Welcome. Just going to give everyone a few more minutes to get logged in since I know it's the first time, and then we'll get started.
Hello?
Hi, this is Debra Regier. Who am I talking with?
Oh, this is Renew. How are you?
Hi, good to meet you over the phone finally. How's it going?
Good. I'm just downloading the browser, I think.
That's fine. You can hear us. That's what matters. It's all good.
Yep. Great.
And I'll send it there. I'll show you. I'll send it to you also as a YouTube video, and then I'll give you directions on how to go to the portal too. It'll be fine if you can't see it right away.
Great. Thanks.
Yeah. Welcome. We're glad you're with us today. Anyone else having downloading issues? Okay, that's good. I keep looking at my other screen. I have two screens going. It looks like people are trickling in, so that's good. We'll give people a few minutes. I think the first time is always the hardest to figure out the login system. I know it's a pain. That's why we always do a practice run like this. When if we start a few minutes late, it's okay. I see Eleanor and Carrie made it logged in, so that's great. Welcome. And Myra is on, and Peter, I see. This is awesome. Hopefully you can hear me as well. If you're having issues hearing, you can try calling into the phone number. And then Regier, you just showed up, so good. And then Ryan, it looks like, is logged in. And let me see if anyone else has come in yet. And Sonia just got in. So welcome, everyone. We're going to give ourselves till 12:05, and then I'll officially start. But thank you so much for joining today. As always, I have my cell phone right here next to me. If you run into problems, feel free to text anytime during a session. And I usually have someone in my office who can reply to your text in case you run into issues as you go, too. So we'll just give it another 1 minute, and then we'll get started. Thank you, everyone who was able to join us today. And we'll do a quick call, and then we'll get you back on your way because we know life is busy, especially this time of year. Let's see if anyone else has come on yet. A couple more people are trickling in. This is great. Joshua made it on. Great. And Lauren. Good. So we have a few more people. So we'll just give it 1 more minute, and then we'll officially start and give you guys an overview of the program and make sure you have some of the resources that might make life simpler for you in the next few weeks. We'll just wait 1 more minute. Okay, it's officially 12:05, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. You'll probably find that I try to start everything on time, right at the time we say. Everything is recorded, so if you're ever running late, we all have been there where that experiment's going long or the patient's taking a little longer than you thought. No worries. This program's goal is to support you and help you to be more successful at rare disease research and not to create another hurdle for you. So if you're ever running late, don't worry, you can always log in late. Everything is recorded. And then I'll show you how to get to the portal to watch the recordings later. The first few times I'll also email you the link to those recordings until you get more used to the portal. So welcome to the Rare Disease Scholars Program. We're just thrilled with this year's cohort. I think that you're going to be amazed by the people that you're joining this year in the cohort, and we're just thrilled to have all of you with us. We had more applications than we had expected, and we're just so grateful that so many of you have decided to take a year of time to spend, 2 hours a month thinking about how can I be more successful in the long term with rare disease research, and how can I meet not only my needs, but the needs of my patient cohorts. So I'm Debra Regier. I am the PI of the project, but I also want you to know that Marshall Summer and Mary Ottolini are the co-PIs. Marshall Summer is a well-known urea cycle rare disease specialist. He'll be joining us at the in-person meeting and also doing a really fun talk on how to extrapolate rare to common to help with funding issues. That will be one of the talks we have in November. And Mary Ottolini is an education specialist. So she is a pediatrician who has really been thinking about how do we educate better. And she is also one of those women who seems to be able to get an amazing amount of things done in a day. So she's actually going to join us for one of the hours when you're here in DC. So you'll see it when we get to that in just a minute. So what is this crazy program? The goal of the Rare Disease Training Program is to equip the next generation of rare disease clinical researchers to be successful. And to do that, we are trying to attract and retain new investigators in the field of rare disease. In order to do that, what we found out was that rare disease researchers, when they're successful, have to be amazing collaborators. They have to have what traditionally is termed research success with publication numbers, grant acquisition, and not only getting the first grant, but then keeping the funding going. They have to have access to patients and families, and they have to know how to work with small patient populations. So these are unique characteristics in rare disease that not every clinical researcher might have access through their own CTSI program. So that's why these are the focuses of unique areas of information that we're going to make sure we cover this year. So how do we actually do this program? In case you didn't know it when you applied, there's 3 steps to our program. The first step is an in-person meeting. Hopefully you're all able to join us. I know we're actually going to have one team of people that can't join us, so they're going to be their sub-team. We do some team building. I know that sounds really cheesy, and I always tell people I'm not trying to be cheesy, but at the end of this year, if all I have done for you is you have 5 or 6 people in the rare disease field that you can reach out to when you need help for that hurdle, or you just need to run an idea by someone at another institution, that's a huge resource. So we are going to spend a few hours building those relationships and building those resource kind of connections for you. Even in this year's cohort, we already have a project that's now at 2 institutions instead of 1 because of the first in-person meeting. We're going to talk a little bit about project planning. We're actually going to have you sit down for an hour and think about how am I going to lay out the next year of my life to make this project happen. We're going to talk about relationships with patients and families. And then, hey, you're in DC, so we're going to have some fun. This year, we're actually going to go up to the Capitol Hill and do a Capitol tour. And you'll see that we're going to spend the whole afternoon at the Capitol. We're going to be talking to the people that are currently working on the healthcare reform bills. We're going to be talking with not the senators, not the congressmen, but we're going to talk to their medical advisors, the people that are actually doing a lot of the work and a lot of the thinking about what medicine looks like in the 21st century. And we're actually going to meet with one of the people that was one of the authors of the 21st Century Cures Act. So I think it's going to be a really fun time for us to think about politics in a little bit of a different way. And then for a whole year, you get to go home and you do your thing. And twice a month, you'll have about a 1-hour activity. These are just some of the topics that we've done. I always chuckle that the topics change year to year, and it changes depending on what you tell me you want and you need. My first year, they really, really wanted and needed more on FDA and industry. There were a lot of people wanting to do industry work, so we did a lot of that type of topics. Last year, we actually had some people that wanted more faculty development type interactions. So we did some faculty development things, like how to write a really great bio sketch, how to be more time efficient, some issues that maybe you haven't thought about in your life. So the first half of the year is kind of a set schedule on things like writing grants, interacting with an organization called PCORI that's a unique funding source. We do some statistics for small disease cohorts and those kind of activities. The first half and the second half, you get to tell me what you want to talk about. And then next year, a year from now, it's your final project where we'll have you come back to DC, you'll do a poster presentation, and then we have you participate in a National Rare Disease Conference. Whether it's the National Organization of Rare Diseases, which is the second year cohort is going there. So we'll either be attending that meeting or one of the other rare disease meetings. It changes every year depending on which one fits our schedule the best. So I'll let you know as soon as I know those dates. And of course, there's always people that, for whatever reason, can't be at that second meeting. You still get to finish, you still get to graduate. In order to graduate, what you do is you have to show me that you have presented your rare disease research at another national meeting and that someone's thought about the rare disease aspects of your research from a poster or a presentation you presented. But don't worry about that. The goal of this entire project is to help you succeed and to make those hurdles a little shorter and a little flatter and a little less frustrating to you as you get through this year of doing rare disease research. So, what about this whole NIH funding? So just so you know, this is a 5-year project. You're 3 of 5, and we'll actually be following you for the next 2 years. And we'll talk about that in the end of how we actually follow. So the goal of this project is less scout work, more support and resources. What that means is I will email you, and I know most people still like email. If you hate email and want to only do the portal, I'm happy to put everything on the portal. But most people have told me, can you please just email that to me, because that's kind of where my life revolves right now, especially if you're in medicine. We'll use a portal for quizzes and evaluations, and that's where I'll also put all of our links in our WebEx recordings, and I'll show you exactly how we do that. And we'll actually walk through it in real time in just a minute so you can see how it works. And then everything is recorded through WebEx. Most institutions, I've been told, can use WebEx. That's why we chose that one. And like I said, everything is recorded. We don't always meet on Mondays. I move it all over the schedule. It might be Monday at noon. It might be Thursday at 7 p.m. We move things everywhere just so that you have a chance of participating when you can. We know there's no perfect time and no perfect day for this entire group. It's an impossibility. So I quit trying to come up with a perfect day and time, and we just move it and record everything. Then the last thing is you might not know much about the Rare Disease Clinical Research Network. Maybe you are one of the fellows from the network and some of you are not. If you've never met this group, it's a group of 22 rare disease consortia, and together they formed an education committee, and that's our oversight committee. So once a month, 2 of our participants have the chance to present their research to this committee. So you might say, hey, I'm new in this. I don't want to present my work, or I don't want to be intimidated by them. Well, there's 2 good reasons to participate. One, you might get some great feedback. You might get someone who says, hey, I understand where you're at, and you know that hurdle you have, let's get around it, or we might have a resource that will get you around that hurdle. The other thing is, hey, it looks great on a CV. You're presenting to a national committee, so throw it on that CV of yours if nothing else. So what should you expect when you come to DC? So when you come to DC, we'll be meeting on Monday, October 30th and Tuesday, October 31st. The first day, we don't start until 10, so hopefully some of you can fly in that morning, totally appropriate. There are 3 airports in our area. DCA, or Regier Airport, is the closest to where we're at. It is in just over the border into Virginia, and we are in downtown DC. The other 2 airports, Baltimore and Dulles, are about an hour to an hour and a half away, depending on the time of day and traffic. So we'll be meeting at 10 at the Children's National Medical Center, and that address is emailed to you. We're on a Metro stop on the Red Line, so if you like Metro, take the Red Line, and there's a shuttle from the Red Line stop to us. At 10:15 to 11, you'll be working in your small groups that we will create for you. 11 to 12, we're going to work with Dr. Mary Odolini. She's our education specialist. We're going to do some work on time management and how to create a plan for your life. Then we're going to the mall, not the mall, the mall. So we're going to be doing a Capitol tour and meeting with the healthcare advocates that wrote the 21st Century Cures Act. And then after that, you're on your own. So we'll have a list of Smithsonians that are still open. We'll just be steps away from Smithsonians. Or maybe you want to do an evening stroll to the monuments, or maybe you want to just give up and go back to your hotel. Any of those is a good answer. So hopefully you can enjoy an evening in DC. Then on Thursday morning, we'll start again. And on Thursday morning, you're going to do a 1-minute description of your work. We'll talk about what that is on the next slide. Then we're going to do a session on writing success. So how do you actually get those papers written that need to be written, or that grant, or whatever it is that needs to be done. We'll work on you creating your year's timeline for success, and then we'll wrap up from there. So it's a pretty quick 2-day meeting. So in that 1-minute presentation, our goal is for you to tell us the exact same way you would tell, for example, a family group that you wanted funding from about your research. And we're actually going to critique you. We're going to find out, did it make sense? Was it logical? Was it exciting? And my personal favorite, and the favorite of all the families, is if I had money, would you want to fund the project? And out of a total of 100 points, we're going to see how many points you can get for being just clear, distinct, think like a 6th grader, not like a researcher. So in the next few weeks, I want you to really think about what you do and what it means to families, because that's that relationship. We want you to start thinking about how would you build that relationship with a family. So since we're already halfway through our time, we're now going to switch over to our website. And the address for our website is cheesily learnrd.com. And I just found a typo. So learn as in learning, and the RD, raredisease.com. So if you just type that into your browser, learnrd.com, you will come upon this site. So this is our portal. Now there's 2 different ways to get into the portal. You can either log in or you can click in. Now I'm going to show you how to log in first, but let's be honest, you're not going to want to log in every time you come in because none of us like to log in. So for this first time, I actually have directions right here where it says you can log in using your email address and the password enter at 123. So I even give you the password on the front page. So for your username, you're going to put in your email address. And I don't know if Brian's on, but Brian, I'm using yours because I can. So that you'll see exactly what it looks like when you get in. And you just enter at 123. So your email, whatever email I'm emailing your information to, so whatever email you told me to use, and then the password. When you do the login button, it will take you to a registration page. So for Kevin, it takes you to, it already knows your email, it knows your name. You have to tell us what institution you're at, what level of training. You can put whatever you want to put, it doesn't matter. You can put a CV and a bio sketch in if you want to, not required, but you can if you'd like to. And then you hit update your profile, and then it'll take you into the next step. So instead of me messing up Kevin's, we're actually going to backtrack a bit. I'm going to log Kevin out, and then I'm going to log in as another participant who's already done this first step. Then we're going to be Kim for a second. I love how I get to be everyone else on this call. So the first time you go in, if you do log in, that helps, and you'll see why in a minute, because that way you'll get credit for doing your work. So this is with a login. You scroll down and you can see that there are available courses. Rare Disease Scholars 2017-2018 will always be in the top row. If you wanted to look at what happened in 2016 and 2015, you're welcome to go look around. You can watch their recordings, you can see their documents. You're welcome to go exploring anytime you want. So for this session, the fun thing is you can actually see a few other people that might be coming in soon. So you click on Rare Disease Scholars, and then from there, you can actually open and close your toggles, and you can look and see what's coming up next and where we're going. So what to do before you come to DC, or items that we'd like you to do before you hit the round in DC. This is this session on Introduction to the Learn RD portal. October 24th, we have a statistics lecture already planned for those of you who might want to get an early start on things. It's a great lecture. A man out of Nebraska does it, and it's one of my favorite lectures, so we'd love to have you come join us. And then under the fall in-person meeting, as we build the meeting, you're going to see every document that gets sent to me we'll put here for the long run. So what do you need to do before you come to DC? You're going to look at this and be a little overwhelmed. I'm not trying to overwhelm you, but this is where everything is. Since we are a federally funded program, we actually have to do 3 pre-tests. We have a pre-test that's 10 questions on your comfort with clinical research. We have the CREA, which is the Clinical Research Appraisal Inventory. It's 12 questions, so neither one's that hard. And then we have the questionnaire. The questionnaire, I'll be honest, is really kind of irritating. It'll take you about 20 minutes to do it, and you don't have to do the last 10 questions in case you get to it before I do. I'm actually in the process of editing out the last 10 questions because I was told you don't have to do them anymore. So I'll get those edited today, but if you get there first, don't worry, just skip the last 10 questions. They're the write-a sentence questions. Just skip those if you get to them. Then we have the Day 2 registration. If you just click on this, this is a Word document. It'll let you open it or save it or save as. If you open the document, it's actually a Word document that then you can save onto your desktop, and you'll be able to upload it on the next step. Or if you're like, Deb, I don't want to do that. That just sounds painful. You can also email this to me. You can even fax it to me. You can get it to me however you can get it to me. Any way you do it is great. So as it opens, so the in-person registration is just a Word document. I want to know what you want on your ID badge when you get here. Where do you actually work? Where, what food allergies you might have. I don't want to feed you something that's going to cause you anaphylaxis. I have 4 EpiPens, but I'd rather not use them on you. What's the best email for this course? A lot of you have already answered that question. Do you have a cell phone for when you're in DC, just in case? And then these are for table assignments to try to understand what group of researchers you'd want to be in. So if you have a certain research population that you're interested in, or if you have a certain type of research design, that helps us to know which group of people to put you with. So as I said, all you have to do is fill this out for me, send it back to me. You can either upload it through the portal here by upload your Day 2 registration form here. And when you do that, you can add a submission, and it'll let you just click and just drag and drop your file right here. Hit Save Changes, and it'll go right to me, and that way I have it. But if you'd rather email it to me, that's okay too. I like that we're overdue by 1 year and 1 day, but don't worry, you're not overdue. The next thing that we have on the portal, go back. Hold on, I'm going to backtrack. If you're ever stuck, you go up to My Courses and then just go to Rare Disease Scholars. If you ever get lost, My Courses is how you get unlost if you ever run into any issues. That elevator rubric for how we're going to score your 1-minute elevator talk at the session is right here in case you want to look at that while you're preparing your 1-minute talk. Again, please don't stress over this 1-minute talk. I don't want to cause more anxiety. I just want this to be a chance for you to think about how would I explain this to a patient and their family in 1 minute in a meaningful way of what I want to do in my research. And then last but not least, I know that most of you probably already have an Orchid ID. So Orchid ID numbers, if you haven't heard of them, are actually one of the ways that NIH and other funding agencies are keeping track of who has research funding and their publications. So you can imagine if your name is John Smith. There's a lot of John Smiths with publications, a lot of John Smiths with funding. So by having a unique Orchid ID, you can track this is who I am and this is my research. So if you look at my Orchid ID, there's more than one D. Regier. And the other D. Regier is a psychiatrist. I'll be honest, I don't know who this person is, but he does some weird research, and I don't want people to think that's me. So that's why I use Orchid ID so that you can tell the two D. Regiers apart from each other. So if you don't have an Orchid ID yet, all you have to do is you can click on the website here, and at https://orchid.org, it'll just lead you right through the process. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes to get an Orchid ID. If you don't have one yet, I would recommend that it's probably worth the 5 to 10 minutes now to do it. And we'll actually be collecting Orchid IDs in DC. Now, that is something you could do on the Metro, on the way to Children's National. I would be great with that. All of these quizzes would actually be able to be done on your phone. This website is like iPhone, iPad accessible. So these are all things you can literally do en route to DC just to save yourself some time. So I'm officially at 12:25. My goal was to not spend more than 20 minutes with you, but I know there's lots of people on the line, and if you have questions, I'd love to answer some questions now. Knowing that your question might be the same question that someone else would have that I'm also recording this for. So if you have questions, please hop on now and just let me know. Anyone? Well, great. If you don't have questions, I don't want to waste your time. But please know, if you need anything in the interim between now and October 30th, feel free to use my cell phone number. Feel free to email me. Any of these documents, if you're having issues accessing them, I'll probably also go ahead and print them and scan them as PDFs to you. So if you're having any issues with the portal, just fill out the PDF and bring it back to me at the meeting, and we'll worry about all the paperwork there. So don't let the portal get in your way of learning. Don't let anything this year get in your way of learning. If there's issues, please let me know so that we can fix them. I don't want this to be more work. I want this to be a chance for you to spend 2 hours a month thinking about how can I be more successful, how can I get more done in less time, and how can I think outside the box a little bit? Because in rare disease, we know that if you can think outside the box, you're going to do what's right for your patients and the families that you care for. And that's really our goal of this whole project, is to support you to stay in research and do what's right for all of our families. So I can't thank you enough for taking time out to apply for this program and now to participate in this program. We're thrilled to have you with us this year. We can't say enough about the amazing applications we've had. And just, I think when you meet your cohort, you're going to see what amazing group of people we all have. And we're thrilled to have you here in DC. Again, any problems, any questions, any issues, feel free to call, email, text, whatever, get a hold of me so we can make sure that all those hurdles are as low as we can get them. Thanks again, everyone. And I'll be posting this both as an email. I'll send it as an email to all the cohorts so you can always watch again how we did things. And I'll also post it onto LearnRD so that you can access it again if you have any questions. Thanks all, and have a great afternoon, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay.